Here we go.
There is this horrifying creature that lives on a tiny uninhabited island in the southwestern Pacific that lives underground, and at night it will come out and it will eat anything from coconuts to fish to birds to pigs to people. And in today's top story, we're going to learn about someone that accidentally wound up on this island, totally stranded, and came face to face with this nightmarish creature. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you come to the right channel, because that's all we do, and we upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, on the next cold day, sneak behind the like button and slap their ears and then run away. Also, please subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories.
If I ever told y'all to hit the like button, I'd just be like, pretend like the like button is tattooed on a girl with a fat ass and just, right? Same goes for you ladies, because I know y'all be checking out dudes' asses as well. I don't really think it's as extravagant as ladies' asses, but...
Dr. Guy Garman, also known as Doc Deep, was an avid scuba diver, and in 2015, he decided he was going to put his scuba diving to the test and try to break the world record for the deepest recreational scuba dive. At the time, the current...
You're going to try to break the world record for the deepest scuba dive? And not even saying this to be disrespectful, but homie, you look like you're pushing 50. Can your body handle that? I feel like you should have talked to the missus first before you engaged in this. I hope this doesn't go bad for you, but we'll see.
Try to break the world record.
This seems like something that this seems like young people activity, or at least like 25, 30, something like that.
For the deepest recreational scuba dive. At the time, the current record was 1,090 feet, set by a man named Ahmed Gaber in 2014. Guy's plan was to go down to 1,090 feet and then keep going to 1,200 feet, and that would be his record-setting mark. But in order to do that, you need a dive site that goes down to 1,200 feet. But luckily, Guy did most of his scuba diving off the coast of St. Croix in the Caribbean, and that area was known for an incredibly deep dive spot. Now, when most people think of scuba diving in the Caribbean, they think of beautiful clear water and amazing coral reef and exotic fishes, and everyone's so happy and it's so great and the water's so warm. And off St. Croix, that was true. But if you continued going offshore about 250 feet, you'd reach a drop-off that's known as the wall. And we're not talking about a gradual drop-off. We're talking about the seafloor going from flat to turning 45 degrees and going straight down 2 miles into a complete black abyss. Now, the only people that are actually allowed to dive into the wall are very experienced scuba divers with all the certifications. But if you're a tourist and you come to St. Croix, you can still scuba dive off the coast, where it is beautiful and shallow and warm and there's reefs and fish, but you're allowed to swim out to the edge of the wall. And people report getting out there and standing on the edge of this cliff, looking in the water with their mask and not being prepared for how intimidating it is. I mean, you're standing on one side where behind you is like this tropical paradise, and in front of you is this seemingly endless void where we don't even know what's down there. I mean, we've only explored 10% of the ocean. These deep portions of the ocean, we can't get down, so we don't know what's down there. What we do know is that sometimes whales will dive down into these deeper sections of the water,
and they're never
scientists will be tracking their dive, and when they come up again, after only going down maybe 1,000 or 2,000 feet, they'll return with these massive bites taken out of them, because apparently there are creatures down there that we haven't discovered yet that are so big and so aggressive that a whale seems like a reasonable thing to go after for food. And so imagine standing on the edge of this cliff looking out and being like, what's down there? Well, our boy Guy decides, I'm gonna find out what's down there, and I'm gonna do my record-setting dive at the wall. And so after meticulous planning and hiring a support team that's gonna be there to help...
He must have not known about these whales that went down there and got fucking chomped on. Because, man, I'm not even walking into a fucking forest. Like, let's say there's a road with streetlights, and then off to the left, I see a forest that's just seemingly endless. I'm not even going into a goddamn forest, let alone submerging myself. You got water pressure. Nah, man. I don't think this guy survived.
Help him do this dive. He, his wife, and his son fly to St. Croix and they get ready to do this dive. Guy had arranged for a line to be lowered right at the edge of the wall that was weighted down by an anchor that was going to go down all the way to 1,300 feet. And they would put a metal placard at the 1,200 foot mark on the actual line so that when Guy went down, he would reach that placard at 1,200 feet. That's the record setting mark. He would use a grease pen to mark the placard to indicate, I made it, this is legitimate. And then he would go back up, and that's how the dive was going to go. And so in the...
How long did you spend down there? Why do you have so many fucking oxygen tanks, or am I missing something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good God, how long did you spend down here? Or do you just need weight to get you down there, because you are pushing through water pressure, and it's like you have to figure out a way to just like push yourself down there, because just your own body weight, you're not going to be able to make it. So I don't know. Brandon, what's up, man?
I made it, this is legitimate, and then he would go back up, and that's how the dive was going to go. And so in the early morning of August 15th, 2015, Guy, along with his big support team, they head out to the edge of the wall. Guy gets into the water along with his son, who's going to go down.
I didn't really know that, but the deeper you go, the more oxygen you use. Okay. It becomes harder to breathe, bro. Water pressure is no joke. Man, when I was a kid, we had a pool. The pool was 12 feet deep. I used to go down to the bottom of the pool and just fucking sit there, Indian style, at the bottom of the pool, but I couldn't stay there for long because my ears would start to hurt. That water pressure was intense, and it's just amplified tenfold in open water, the ocean. Like, this shit is just nuts. I don't fuck with water. Can I swim? Yes. If you're drowning, can I save you? Yes. But I don't fuck with water. I just don't. That's not, like I said this just so many times before, man, that's not my home. That's not my home. That's not my house. That's not my dojo. That's not, I don't belong there.
Down with him for the first 200 feet, and he looks up at the support boat and he gives him the okay. He's ready to start the dive, and then he and his son give the signal. They're ready to go down, and they start their descent into the void. As they're sinking lower and lower and lower in the water column, it's getting darker and darker until it's completely and totally pitch black. They reach the 200-foot mark. They come to a stop as was planned, and Guy's son Kip would give his father a squeeze for good luck because they can't communicate, and then Kip would go back up, and Guy on his own continues down to the 1,200-foot mark. Once Guy was on his own, a timer started because it's very important to track how long he's down at depth, and his team was expecting him to be back up at the 350-foot mark in 38 minutes from when his son left. But 38 minutes came and went, and he was not at the 350-foot mark. But even though this is a big problem, Guy had a whole bunch of extra air canisters with him.
Okay.
And so if he ran into any sort of problem, he would be able to continue to breathe air and fix the problem before coming up. It would just mean longer decompression stops along the way up. And since he was tethered to the guideline, they knew he couldn't drift away. And so they just had to wait and hope that he ran into some problem and that he would fix it eventually, and then he would come back up again. But he never did. They couldn't really send a rescue mission down to get him because Guy was going so deep. He was the only one that was able to get down there. No one else was qualified or would be able to do it or had the right equipment for it. He was totally on his own down there. It would take 3 days before they were able to get the right equipment that was able to pull this lineup out of the water.
And he don't have 3 days worth of oxygen, I don't think. And 3 days at that depth, with that water pressure, with that, like, eventually passed the fuck out.
Water, and attached at the end of it was Guy, and he was deceased. He had drowned. But the really scary thing about what happened to Guy is when he went down into that abyss, he had all these extra air canisters attached to him. And so presumably he went down the line, probably all the way down to the record-breaking mark, and then he got trapped somehow. And as he's trapped on this line in total darkness, surrounded by who knows what down there, probably for several hours, he just cycled through his backup air canisters wondering, am I gonna run out of air and drown? Or am I gonna get attacked by some animal down here?
Wipes, wipes, wipes. Why the waste? Garnier Micellar Cleansing Water with reusable Eco Pad. Micelles work like a magnet. Now leave
Yeah,
less mascara
bro.
residue than the
That's Wait, that's it? That's it? What happened?
He just cycled through his backup air canisters, wondering, am I going to run out of air and drown, or am I going to get attacked by some animal down here?
Did they ever pull his body back up, or was he just lost? He was attached to a line, right? So they couldn't just pull him back up? I don't understand. What happened? I don't know who that's from. Who did that? I hate that it's doing this, bro, and it's only for... Oh, they said they pulled him up and he was dead? I didn't hear that part. I must have not been paying attention. Who just donated? Because all it says is these letters, and it doesn't do it for everybody. Why doesn't it do it for SS Fox? I guess it's just like... I don't know. Okay. Polish MP, thank you. This is the case with I don't know why it does this. It does this to a couple people, but doesn't do it to other people, and I don't know why. Yo, Polish, I appreciate it. Did you ever get a chance to check out Mr. Bond, rapper that I sent you on Instagram? No, I haven't. Not yet. But I can. Not right now. I gotta finish this, but I can check it out after if it's not too long. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate the donation. I hate that it came in like that. I don't know what that means. I don't know why it's doing that, but for some people, it says their name when they donate, and then for others, it doesn't. And I don't know if that's something I need to fix on my end, which I don't think it is on my end, or whatever. It's just, like, odd. Oh, Liam, you might have just jinxed us. Before we start this, let me actually check this out. Oh, Ashley, what'd you send me?
You want to destroy her inside with your thrusting power. Rather than just going straight in and out, we're going to add a bit of downward curve, like a grind, into the motion. That kind of finding
Ashley.
the bottom of the thrust.
You know, I have done that. Like, instead of going straight in, I've always, like, there's been times where, like, I've gone in at, like, an angle, either from, like, the left or to the right. And, but, god damn, girl. Polish MP, what's your name on Instagram? A good one to pick from the list might be Lost in the Echobergs. Well, you know what? This isn't a music stream. This isn't a music reaction stream. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow is gonna be our music reaction stream, and we can check that out tomorrow if you want. Since you did donate, and we can do same day requests. Okay, Astronomist, thank you. Yo, Polish MP, we got you, homie. Let me search you. Oh, there you are. Wait. Oh my fucking Christ. God damn it. Mr. Bond, there it is. Okay, I had to scroll up a little bit. Mr. Bond, like a diamond. Another music video not on YouTube. Where's his music at? What website is this? Oh, he has an actual website for his music. He doesn't have music on a... Okay, all right. Yeah, Astronomers will put that on the list. And for the next license stream, which will be tomorrow, we will do it. Might be risque. We'll chance it. Yo, Guns and Knives. What's up, man? It's this? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna play it, but I just want to make sure I'm on the right fucking one. He's in jail for hate speech. What country is he from? And what did he say? It's music, right? Or was he just like talking crazy a lot? Was he talking crazy on not a song, like on social media or something? I don't fucking know. You don't go to jail here for hate speech, especially if it's in music. You can say whatever the fuck you want in a song. Austrian rapper. He's doing 10 years in prison for hate speech due to his song parodies. Man, if Rucka Rucka Ali was from the same place this guy's from, Rucka would be in jail too. Because his parodies be wild. Really? From music? Austrian. From Austria? So that's the way the Austrian government rolls, huh? That's fucking nonsense. Well, you know what? I will gladly check out his music. Because fuck censorship. That's stupid. Yeah, next stream we do. Next license stream, which is tomorrow, Polish MP. We'll get it done. And no, it's not on YouTube. Astronomist it's like his own website. And I have a link for it right here. We can do Like a Diamond or the one that he did. And I have a link for it on my Instagram. So just on the list, Astronomist has just put check Instagram for video link. And that will remind me that I need to go to Instagram. And you know what? I'm actually gonna DM you back, Matt. I'm sorry. That's your Insta. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't want to give away your real name. It's just like I'm looking at Instagram and that's the name it has. My bad. I didn't fully 100% dox you. I apologize. We'll do this tomorrow. Got a lot of shit to do tomorrow. And I'll, yeah. Ashley, this is the last one, and then I will call you, and you can talk as dirty as you want. All right? Check your text messages. That should hold you over for at least as long as this lasts. All right. That was the first one. Yeah, I'm not fucking with water. And number 2 is also about water. Don't touch the water. Come on, man. It's always water.
There is this tiny little stream that winds its way through a forest in Yorkshire, England called the Bolton Strid. It's not very wide, you could jump over it. It doesn't appear to be very deep, it looks like maybe a foot or two, and it's not moving very fast, but that's all an illusion. There are signs up all over the place that say,
"The Strid is dangerous and has claimed lives in the past. Please stand well back and beware slippery rocks."
they do not go near the Bolton Strid. It kills people. Because just beneath the surface of this seemingly tame water body is a natural booby trap that has a 100% mortality rate.
Damn.
Meaning every single person that has ever stepped foot in the
Died.
Bolton Strid has died. In 1998, Barry and Lynn Colletwer were walking along the Bolton Strid on their second day of their honeymoon, and all of a sudden a torrential downpour starts just raining down on them, and the rocks they were on suddenly got pretty slick, and Lynn slips and falls into the Strid. Barry, being a good husband, runs over to try to save her, and he too falls into the Strid.
Dead.
A man named Desmond Thomas was on the other side of the Strid, and he saw Barry as he was running for his wife, and he saw him fall in, and he watched Barry's face as he was looking at him as if he was going to stay afloat at the top. Desmond said it looked like someone came up and grabbed his leg and yanked him under the water, and he didn't see him again. Lynn's body was found 6 days later in West Yorkshire, and Barry's body was found over a month later, 10 miles downstream. In another case, in 2010, an 8-year-old boy named Aaron Page was playing by the Bolton Strid for his
SS Fox with the 10. You should try Arab's Paradise by Rucka Rucka Ali next music stream. I am down. That one sounds slightly familiar. Like I said, we've done quite a few reactions to Rucka in the past on YouTube. But I don't think we've done that one. We did listen to his Arab song, because you know he did different ones like the Arab song, the Mexican song, the white people song, the black people song, the Mexican people song, and stuff like that. But probably the same, but it's probably different than all those other parodies. So yes, I am down. SS, thank you so much for the 10 and for the request. We got a lot of shit to do tomorrow, dudes. We're gonna have to start early.
his birthday. There's an area that's totally safe, that's away from the street.
Oh, just like that. SS Fox, have a fantastic evening. Thank you so much for the donations and the requests, and for all of the gift subs the past couple days and the past couple of, well, actually weeks now, probably. And again, congratulations on holding the #1 spot. I don't think anyone's gonna come close to you.
Where people have picnics and that kind of thing. And he came down to the edge of the Strid and was running on the rocks, and he slipped and he fell in. Now, an adult saw this happen, and they ran over and they were able to grab onto him while he's in the water. But the pull from inside the water was so strong that this person couldn't hold on to this child, who was eventually sucked under and dragged away and drowned. And beyond these 2 reports, there's dozens of others of people trying to jump over the Strid and falling in and drowning. So why is the Bolton Strid so deadly? If you look at this picture, this is of the river wharf, and it's just a little ways upstream of the Bolton Strid. And all this water in the river wharf gets funneled into the Bolton Strid. And the way it fits through that narrow section that is the Bolton Strid is the river turns on its side. So when you're looking at the Bolton Strid and you think, oh, that's not that deep. Well, it is that deep. It's at least as deep as the river wharf is wide. And if you look at it on the surface and you say, oh, well, the Bolton Strid's not moving very fast. Well, that's because underneath the surface, there is a whipping current. And in fact, the current that runs through the Strid is so strong that if you were standing on one of the rocks overlooking the water, you're looking down into the Bolton Strid. Well, you're not really standing on solid rock. You're kind of standing on a ledge. You just don't know it because the water meets the edge of the ledge. Underneath the rock you're standing on, the water has completely carved it out. So if you were to fall in, before you get sucked under the water, you would get sucked against the side and you would disappear under one of those shelves and go way far back underneath these rocks. And then you'd get sucked under and drown. And a lot of people who fall into the Strid, they don't make it out the other side. They don't get downstream. They get pulled into all these different caverns and tunnels that have been carved out by that current, and they're trapped in there forever because no one's going in to retrieve them, not even with scuba gear. Because if you get in there with scuba gear, the current will push you into these different caves and you aren't getting out again.
Yo, that's actually pretty.
Guess who just found another way to save more money by switching to Food Lion private brand?
There's a place in my hometown called Flat Rock Park. And this it's like a whole bunch of, it's not man-made either, it's just like natural terrain that's just like that, and it's like a whole bunch of rocks that lead down into a lake. No one has ever died at this place. Well, actually, yeah, there was someone that did die. One of my homies from middle school, at a drug deal gone bad, killed somebody and put him in a car and put him in the trunk of a car and set the car on fire. I think he just recently got out of jail not too long ago, or if anything, he has like, I don't know, 5 years left. Ashley, you remember Robert? If you went to Midland Middle School, you remember Robert? What was his last name? White kid, blonde hair. Anyways, this Flat Rock Park, it's a whole bunch of these rocks, and they're slippery as shit. They have like, naturally algae that's on rocks. It makes the rocks slippery, and when I was a kid, we used to go to this place and we used to slide down these rocks. As a kid, you have like a natural high tolerance for pain, especially when you're having fun. I would not do this as an adult now because that's just pain, bro. It is, and it's not actually fun. But as a kid, it was fun for us, and like we used to slide down these rocks, and it would lead into like this little creek that on the other side of this, like, I don't know, 3 foot, 4 foot creek was just more of these rocks, and then those rocks led into the lake, and it was a fun time. But that actually reminds me of, a place in my hometown. Flat Rock Park is what it's called. If you're ever in Columbus, Georgia, it's pretty easy to find. Just ask around, really. And it's a place where a lot of people go for like picnics and barbecues and stuff like that. Whenever I graduated, we went out there and had a barbecue and stuff like that. People go out there. There's like bike trails and all that stuff, and lots of trees, wilderness. And I used to go fishing out there as well. But that right there actually reminds me of that. So. Oh, we're muted. That's why I was like, what the fuck is happening? Hold on. Yeah, you can, but yeah, go ahead, Brandon. And Astronomuses or Desiree will put it on the Discord, and we'll just make sure that we avoid it until you can actually be here, if that sounds good. So for Tuesday, yeah. All right, this is the last one, and it's titled Claws. As long as it has nothing to do with water, man. Like, holy.
On June 1st, 1937, Amelia Earhart...
Not just water, David. You don't underestimate Mother Nature. That right there is Mother Nature. I'm pretty sure that place in England wasn't man-made. They didn't make it that way to fuck with people. They didn't make it that way to kill people. They didn't make it that way for people to fall in and lose their lives. That right there is natural. You don't fuck with Mother Nature. You don't underestimate Mother Nature. You don't fucking puff your chest out at Mother Nature either. She is a bitch and she will fuck you up, man. Like,
took off from Oakland, California on
Amelia Earhart.
Waves, and you aren't getting out again. On June 1st, 1937, Amelia Earhart took off from Oakland, California on an eastbound flight around the world. It was her second attempt to become the first pilot ever to circumnavigate the globe. She, along with her flight navigator Fred Noonan, flew to Miami and then down to South America, across the Atlantic to Africa, and then east to India and Southeast Asia. The pair reached Lae, New Guinea on June 29th. A couple days later, on July 2nd, Earhart and Noonan would depart Lae, and they would make their way to tiny Howland Island, which was their next refueling stop, but they would never arrive. What Earhart was trying to accomplish at the time was such a big deal. So when they disappeared, it was hard.
And the balls on this lady, man, the sheer stones that this lady had, man. It was only her second flight, and she was attempting to fly around the planet. And flight had just recently slightly been fucking perfected. So it wasn't foolproof. It wasn't like there's nothing's gonna go wrong. There's zero room for error or nothing like that. It's not like planes today, where a plane today can go around the fucking world and no one blinks an eye. Back then, this was a huge fucking deal, and it was like some of the first people that were doing it, and she just decided to full send that shit in the most epic fucking way. Like, I'm not just gonna fly to another state or another country. I'm going the whole fucking world, dude. And that's just like, her courage is impressive, really, for some shit like this, because as a human, I have to see someone do something over and over and over again. And I have to see that it's safe over and over and over again. And I have to see that it can be done without a hitch over and over and over again before I even begin to contemplate trying. Okay? It's not like, I'm not a trailblazer in this regard. I'm a coward, really, for the most part. So that's just kudos to Amelia.
Island, which was their next refueling stop, but they would never arrive. what Earhart was trying to accomplish at the time was such a big deal. And so when they disappeared, it was heartbreaking, and it made international headlines, and this huge search was launched for them, but they can't find them. And after 2 weeks, they officially declared they were lost at sea and most likely dead. 3 years later, and 350 miles away from Howland Island, which was the island Earhart and Noonan were trying to get to before they vanished, a British scientist was on this tiny...
Where's this island at? What was the name of this island?
Later, and 350 miles away from Howland Island, which was the...
Howland Island? Where is that at? We'll look it up after.
The island Earhart and Noonan were trying to get to before they vanished. A British scientist was on this tiny little uninhabited island called Niku Maroro, and they made a startling discovery. He found an incomplete skeleton next to what looked like the remains of a campfire, and their skeleton was kind of torn all over the place, like they had been ripped limb from limb. Because of Niku Maroro's proximity to Howland Island, everybody speculated that this has got to be the body of either Amelia Earhart or Noonan. The bones were sent to 2 doctors in Fiji, and they unfortunately said, no, this isn't Earhart or Noonan, this is somebody else. So those bones were ultimately disposed of because no one could claim them or knew who they were, and everybody just kind of forgot about it until 2017, when a forensic anthropologist decided to manually re-examine the measurements of the bones that were taken off of Niku Maroro Island and compare them to real measurements of Amelia Earhart. And they discovered that clearly those doctors in Fiji had made a mistake, because the measurements of these bones match Amelia Earhart almost exactly. So researchers go back to Niku Maroro Island, and they go to the area where these bones were found near that campfire, and they look around and they find a couple 1930s era bottles, glass bottles, and one of them is a freckle cream, and Amelia Earhart had lots of freckles, and she liked to use freckle cream to cover them up. She was kind of famous for doing that. And so they found that freckle cream on this island near bones that look like they belong to Amelia Earhart.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't know, man. It could be, it could not be. I'm not sure. There were rumors that she was sabotaged. She flew for that damn long only to have her flight sabotaged, like, I don't know, 70% of the way. Why not sabotage it immediately? Why not sabotage it before it even took off? Why not sabotage it an hour after takeoff? Why not sabotage it after their first refuel, right? They went through, they made so many stops and refueled only to get I don't really believe that, but rumors are rumors. But yeah, so chances are they crash landed here, and plane was fucked, radio was fucked, they couldn't radio out, they had to try to make do and survive on this island, and they just didn't. Really.
Some scientists are putting their energy into confirming that yes, those bones were Amelia Earhart. We don't have the bones, but we can show you with the measurements and the freckle cream, and there's another picture that apparently shows the landing gear of her plane off of Niku Maroro Island. So there's some people that are working on that angle, and there's another group of scientists and researchers that are saying, okay, let's assume that that really was Amelia Earhart.
Yeah,
let's figure out what happened to her once
Yeah.
she got to Niku Maroro Island. And the leading theory is horrifying. Although Niku Maroro Island is uninhabited by people, it is inhabited by one of the scariest creatures on the planet, the coconut crab. They're 3 feet long, they can carry at least 6 times their body weight, and they use their pincers that are as strong as a lion's jaw to rip open coconuts, which is their main source of food. But coconuts are not the only thing they eat. They'll also eat pigs, they'll eat each other, they'll even eat themselves. And they're prolific climbers because they need to get up to get to the coconuts. But in some parts of the world, they use their
Bro. Oh. Like, so how do they both die, though? I don't know, man. You gotta sleep at some point. You gotta sleep at some point, and you go to sleep, and these crabs come out, and this is not the case of crabs you want, man. Woo! Definitely not. You gotta sleep at some point, and these crabs come out, and he literally just said that the force they have with their pincers is the same bite force of that of a lion. This thing latches onto your fucking leg, your arm, your throat, your neck. you're dead as fuck. And sleep with one eye open. And it said, I was gonna say climb a fucking tree, but he literally just said they're prolific climbers. And they don't discriminate. They'll eat anything. He literally said they'll eat themselves. So, oh, what a horrible way to go. Ugh. Looking on the map on my phone, Howland Island is a tiny island in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. No wonder this place is fucking uninhabited by humans. Who would want to live here? And not to mention, let's just say like you want to live there and you're just like, okay, I want to live here, so I got to exterminate this fucking problem that can kill me. You probably have PETA right up your ass talking about, no, they have feelings and shit. So, yeah. Uninhabited.
Climbing ability to climb up and grab birds and break their wings with their pincers and then drag them into their underground burrows where they will eat them too. The few researchers and scientists that have gone out to Niku Maroro Island have said at night, thousands of these crabs will emerge from their underground burrows.
Dude, that is fucking huge. That is fucking huge. Jesus. I wish I had a size comparison because just by looking at this thing, it looks like... I'm trying to compare a size. Look at the rocks. That's a pretty good size comparison. Look at the rocks, guys. The rocks. Some of these rocks look like rocks that I could hold in my hand. And that is just... You can't fight this thing. And hell, look at its skin. Look at its body. The only thing that's tearing through this thing is a fucking 50 cal. You really think you could get away with shooting a pistol, a 9mm at this thing? I don't think that's gonna work. Desert Eagle or a higher caliber. That's the only thing that's taking this thing out. You think you can just beat this thing with a stick and it dies? No. And look at the size of it. I wonder what the top speed of this thing is.
And they'll go looking for food. And they have a really keen sense of smell and they can smell blood. So when one of the crabs goes up and grabs a bird...
This is literally like a shark living on land. This is a land shark.
And starts ripping it apart, the thousands of others will come charging over and swarm the bird because they've smelled the blood, and they'll rip it to pieces and they'll all try to get in on the action. And so the theory goes, Earhart and Noonan are making their way to Howland Island. They get off track somehow and they wind up crash landing 350 miles away on Niku Maroro Island on one of the reefs. Noonan probably dies on impact, and Earhart, who's badly wounded and probably bleeding, she gets onto the island and she makes her way up to that area where that campfire was found. And for some amount of time, Earhart is able to survive off of whatever she had on her in those glass bottles. But in her weakened state and bleeding, at some point she probably attracted the coconut crabs, who one night came out and swarmed her, ripped her to pieces, and ate her. Today, Niku Maroro Island is only inhabited by the coconut crabs and it's protected land under the Republic of Kiribati. And so if you want to go, you have to get express permission from the Republic of Kiribati, and
they're not going to give you any kind of fucking permission, especially if you're just like a tourist or you're someone trying to look for just travels and just seeing the world and just seeing new places. You have to have a very deliberate, specific reason to want to come here. Otherwise, they're going to hit you with a swift fuck no. Like, that's it.
Send someone to go with you. And there's no airport on the island, so you have to land on a separate island and then ride to Niku Maroro on a boat. But you have to pass through Cyclone Alley, which means you can only travel there at certain parts of the year, and even then...
It's called Cyclone Alley, and it has killer coconut crabs, and it's just like, good God, man. Fuck this island. Who would want to come here? Everything you have to do just to get on the island just already tells me that I probably shouldn't even go. Fuck stepping foot on the island, period. It does look beautiful, doesn't it? Beautiful looking island. Yeah, that's why no one could find her. She was eaten by the crabs, bones and all. It's like... Ugh. That's... God, dude. And like, just being swarmed by giant Crabs. That's... I wonder... I like crab. I wonder what they taste like. I mean, you kill one of these things, you're eating some good ass seafood for like solid 2 months. Really? Oh, that's what we should do. The pedophiles and the motherfuckers on death row. Yo, literal Hunger Games. You either kill the crab and you eat forever, or you get killed by crabs. And if you survive, you get your freedom. Except that part's a lie. We're just gonna tell them that to make them feel better.
Incredibly dangerous. So that's gonna do it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, I wonder what they taste like, man. No one's ever had these crabs before. No one's ever like killed one and taken it, or like eaten it, or cooked it. I don't know. I'd be down to try it. Why not? I'll try new shit, but...
Comments what you thought of them, and I will pin the best comment at the top of the comments section. If you enjoyed today's video and you haven't done this already, on the next cold day...
Bro, if that is the actual way she died, I feel so bad for this woman. Out of all the ways to die, you got killed by killer crabs that are the size of garbage cans. That are the size of that little fucking Barbie doll sized little fucking golf cart that you bought your kid for Christmas. Like, it's that big. And I don't know how I want to look something up real fast. How fast are giant coconut crabs? Taking a species like the 20-pound lobster or the giant spider crab out of water makes them pretty much unable to move very much at all. No. That's not what I want. I want to know something very specific. What are these the coconut crabs from Howland Island? Is that what the name of what the name of the island was? Howland Island coconut crab trash can photo. Okay, hold on. Coconut crab trash can photo. That's what it is. Good God. Yeah. Nah. I think this is like nature's way of saying fuck you to humans. Like, y'all been feasting on us for fucking ages. It's about time we evolve and we start fucking y'all up. That's fucking... What was the name of the island? No, Nico Maroro. Okay. Nico Mararo. Island. Here it is. Island. Coconut. Crabs. Going in depth on this fucking thing. Jesus Christ. How big are the crabs on... Okay, hold on. One theory holds that... Okay, that's the Amelia Earhart thing. That's the theory. I want to know specific fucking... That thing is just... That's scary. Look at this fucking guy. I want to know how fast they are. That's all I want to know. Top speed. Top speed. That's all I want to know. How fast can they move? And that will determine how afraid of them I should be. Because if I can outrun this motherfucker, then I'm really not that afraid. I just got to make sure to not bleed around them. Ladies, if you're menstruating, I wouldn't visit this fucking island. That will be no good for you. That's just... Mother of God. That's just... You need a fucking harpoon to kill this bitch. I guess it's not going to show me what is it, because there's coconut crabs. I'm assuming there's coconut crabs everywhere. 48 miles an hour, you're fucking my ass, dude. No. You're lying. There's no way. If that's the case, this thing came straight out of fucking Jumanji. Like, nah. I don't know. All I know is that's a horrible way to die. Their pincers have the bite force of a lion. That is mind-blowing to me. But if I had to pick, I would much rather have to run away from this than an actual lion. Okay? That's just... Nah, that shit gives me the heebie-jeebies. Really. Fucking... hideous fucking creatures. They taste good, though. That's, okay. Yeah, so how would y'all rather die? Drowning? Or getting eaten by this fucking thing? Because that's what was in the video. There was water, dying 2,000 feet below the surface, dying in a river that has an extreme pull to it, or dying to this thing. Which would you rather go? There is no neither option. You gotta pick one. You either die 2,000 meters beneath the surface of water, or you get sucked into a fucking tornado of a fucking river, or you get eaten by literally king fucking crab. You rather get eaten by the crab? Nah, I think I'd rather drown. Nah, I think I'd rather drown, man. Nah, because, like, it's not... Dude, when this thing starts to eat you, you're still alive. This thing is eating you alive. You do realize that, right? You're getting eaten alive, and there's nothing you can do. With a bite force that of a lion, you're getting eaten alive, and when there's blood, they all come. They all come. There's blood, there's one draws blood, and all the other ones... just coming at you.